Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Over Analyzes. Today we are going to take a look at Kaiju number 8, chapter 34, the first story in the fourth arc of this series. And here we have Kafka Haibino captured by the Defense Force. They know he's Kaiju number 8, and they've got him manacled to a chair. Now, we had some very interesting questions last week. Could that chair really hold him? What is the Defense Force going to do with him? Will Kikoru stand up to her father? Will Mina be successful? Will Mina and Hoshina be successful in defending Kafka? There were so many questions. Now, I'm going to be honest here. This was a really emotionally intense chapter, and this will be the spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to be really answering any of those questions right now. I will do a full spoilery review tomorrow, but I have just got to get this out of my system right now. I had to stop and scream into my pillow about every 4 pages with this chapter. We have grown so attached to all of these characters over the past 34 chapters, and the fact that the creator can hook us on these is just amazing. Now we get one more chapter before the creator takes a break, and good on them for keeping their health up. I'm sure you've all heard the sad news about the creator of Berserk. And Berserk was honestly never one of my favorite manga, but I had always planned on reading it and finishing it sometimes, and it does kind of hurt a little, even though I wasn't that into it, that to know I'll never be able to finish it now. And it just really drives home how important it is that take care of yourself. Make sure you get rest, make sure you hydrate, make sure you get enough sleep, make sure you don't work yourself to death. So, okay, but away from that topic and back to Kaiju number 8, chapter 34. Kaiju number 8, chapter 34, it opens pretty much right after chapter 33 closes. There's clearly been some time that's passed, but not much, maybe a few hours, maybe a day or two, but it's pretty quick afterwards. And there's just a few points that I want to make. How much effort the artist put into crafting the eyes, just from the general expressions on their faces. There's a whole lot of wordless panels that are just faces and eyes. Now, usually that's the mark of some highfalutin, fancy film noir art project where you just focus on expressions and eyes. Now, this is a shonen fighting manga, and they're doing it right. You can see the battle going on in the minds and hearts of these people. In one scene, the people are just sitting around quietly, not talking, or at least trying not to talk. And all it is just shifting the perspective from one set of eyes to another and seeing how each character is handling this situation. And because we know these characters, because we've come to love the characters, we can figure out and project into their brains how they're reacting to this. And it is an amazing piece of artwork and very deep and detailed and far more artistic than you usually find in a shonen fighting manga. I can't think of any other manga that just has that many wordless panels when it's not in the middle of a giant fight sequence. Now, there's some very interesting plot twists that I won't go into, but I did kind of see this coming. On the surface, when you hear it explained in universe, it seems like a really good idea that's just being done for calm, practical reasons. But when you start to think about it, it means that this has probably been something that was influenced from headquarters, and the implication is that headquarters really doesn't trust the 3rd Division anymore. That's what I got out of this. And yet the members of the 3rd Division are going to make the best of this situation, and they're seem to be accepting it at face value and jumping right in. So that's a very, very interesting dynamic that the creators have set up there. Just making the best of a really, really bad situation. Meanwhile, you've got Kafka being held over at the headquarters facility, and we really just get into the beginning of what's going on over there. You get more tense emotional scenes. You find out a few very interesting facts about Kafka. So clearly, the scientific experiments have already begun, but it's nothing invasive as of yet. Then you have the culmination of the chapter, and that is where the artist love of corkscrew plot twists, I call them. You know eventually where this is going to end. It is traveling in a straight line, but it's spiraling around in order to get there. You have this one moment of hope that's just brutally snatched away from you. And the last scene I find really confusing. The art is so good that I have to assume that the confusion is deliberate. So in the last scene, this is a very, very minor spoiler, and you've heard enough now, so you can click away if you want to. But in the very last scene, I can't tell if someone is holding Kafka's dog tags or holding a sample beaker. Because it's line art, because it's just drawing, I can't tell what color it is, other than that it appears to be either transparent or a light gray. And I can't see any writing on it, but that might just be the scale that you're looking at. Someone is holding something, a rounded rectangle that looks a lot like a set of dog tags. But there's also, it looks like they might be pouring fluid into it, so it might be a beaker. So it was either an emotional blow for Kafka or a physical blow. So that was very interesting. That was very interesting. I thought an interesting note to leave it on, especially after the scenes that had led up to it. And another thing, I just appreciate the art so much. The ability of the artist to put so much information into just the body shape of someone. We do get to see this absolutely mountain of a man in a stripped down Defense Force uniform, like we got to see Kafka in the black turtleneck. And man, these artists can do swole just as well as they can do dad bod. Okay, well, that's my review. That is my essentially spoiler-free review of Kaiju number 8, chapter 34. And if you want something to tide you over until the next chapter comes out in 7 days, you can go to Amazon, Kobo Books, Google Play Books, or Barnes & Noble and check out Humans Are Weird. I have the data. If you'd like an author-signed copy, you can contact me on my website, and we can work that out. And I will have a big announcement coming up about my book soon. Now, if you don't want something light and fluffy to take your mind off it, but you want something dark and painful to keep you in the proper mood for chapter 35, go check out Dying Embers, Dragons, Aliens, and Things That Go Boomp in the Night. Peace out, my wonderful viewers.
The book from author Betty Adams, Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, is a humorous look at human behavior through the eyes of aliens. This book is arranged in separate reports or essays, documenting the experiences with humanity through the lens of the aliens who have to interact with them. This anthology of short stories and vignettes from alien points of view highlights some of humanity's quirks we can all relate to. Author Betty Adams captures how strange and interesting humans can really be. This is a fun collection of stories you will really get a kick out of. Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, from author Betty Adams. Order your copy right now on Amazon.